Ever looked up at the night sky, seen that tiny reddish dot, and thought, "That's Mars, we're going there soon"? We all have. We've seen it in movies, read it in books, and heard the promises from space agencies and billionaires. But what if I told you that reaching Mars isn't just difficult, it might be fundamentally impossible for humans as we are today? The greatest barrier isn't money or technology, it's the universe itself, and the price for trying to defy it could be far higher than we imagine. So, why is a trip to Mars, our planetary neighbor, so monumentally challenging? First, let's talk about the sheer distance. Earth and Mars orbit the Sun at different speeds and on different paths. At their closest, they're about 34 million miles apart. Sounds manageable, right? But this ideal alignment only happens once every 26 months. Miss that launch window, and you're waiting over 2 years for the next one. The journey itself isn't a straight line. We can't just point a rocket at Mars and hit the accelerator. Instead, we use a fuel-efficient trajectory called a Hohmann transfer orbit. This involves launching the spacecraft into a larger orbit around the Sun that intersects with Mars' orbit at the exact right moment. This elegant cosmic dance takes, on average, 7 to 9 months. 9 months. Think about that. That's 9 months sealed inside a metal container, smaller than a small apartment, with a few other people. The psychological strain is immense. Studies on astronauts aboard the International Space Station, who at least have the comfort of seeing Earth out the window, show significant stress, sleep disruption, and interpersonal conflict. Now imagine being in deep space, where Earth is just a tiny blue dot, then nothing at all. The sense of isolation would be absolute and crushing. Every system has to work perfectly, every single day. There's no turning back, no quick resupply mission if a water reclaimer or an oxygen generator fails. You're completely on your own. But the psychological challenge, as huge as it is, pales in comparison to the physical one. The single greatest obstacle standing between us and Mars is radiation. Earth is a beautiful protected bubble. Our magnetic field and thick atmosphere act as a powerful shield, deflecting the vast majority of 2 deadly types of radiation. The first is solar energetic particles, thrown out by explosions on the Sun called solar flares. The second, and far more insidious, is galactic cosmic rays, or GCRs. These are high-energy particles, the atomic nuclei of dead stars, accelerated to nearly the speed of light by supernova explosions across the galaxy. They are relentless, coming from all directions, all the time. On a 9-month journey to Mars, and then during their time on the Martian surface, which has a very thin atmosphere and no global magnetic field, astronauts would be exposed to a relentless storm of this radiation. Unlike the radiation we know on Earth, like X-rays, GCRs are like microscopic cannonballs. They don't just damage a cell's DNA, they shatter it, ripping through molecules and leaving a trail of destruction. Our current shielding technology is shockingly inadequate. To effectively block GCRs, you'd need a shield of lead or water several feet thick. The weight would make the spacecraft impossible to launch with current rocket technology. So what does this radiation actually do to the human body? The long-term exposure significantly increases the risk of cancer, of course. But the more immediate and terrifying threat is what it does to the brain. Studies on mice exposed to GCR-level radiation show devastating neurological damage. The radiation severs connections between neurons, leading to severe cognitive decline, memory loss, and an inability to perform complex tasks. An astronaut could arrive at Mars with significant brain damage, unable to remember their training or carry out the critical procedures needed to land and survive. They could essentially arrive with a form of space-induced dementia. Imagine the horror. Surviving a 9-month journey only to be too cognitively impaired to even open the hatch. And this is the crucial, terrifying truth of a Mars mission. The very journey designed to be humanity's greatest triumph could systematically dismantle the minds of the explorers we send. It's a paradox of exploration. The farther we go from the cradle of Earth, the more the universe itself seems to attack the very thing that got us there, our intelligence. We are biological beings, evolved over millions of years to thrive within Earth's protective embrace. Out in the cosmos, we are fragile, and our complex brains are a critical vulnerability. But let's say we somehow solve the radiation problem. Maybe we develop a powerful magnetic shield for the ship, or a breakthrough in biology allows us to make our DNA more resilient. What then? We still have to land on Mars. Landing a heavy, human-rated vehicle on a planet with an atmosphere 100 times thinner than Earth is an engineering nightmare. The atmosphere is too thin for large parachutes to work effectively, but thick enough to create intense frictional heat. NASA calls it the 7 minutes of terror, and that's just for a 1-ton rover. A human lander would be 20 to 30 times heavier. We currently have no proven technology to safely land that much mass on Mars. And if they land, the challenges have only just begun. The Martian dust is perchlorate-rich, a toxic substance that, if inhaled or ingested, could cause serious health problems. The gravity is only 38% of Earth's. While that might sound fun, prolonged exposure to low gravity causes bone density loss and muscle atrophy. After a year and a half on Mars, an astronaut's body might be too weak to withstand the high G forces of the return trip to Earth. They could be trapped there forever. So, does this mean we should give up? That Mars is nothing more than a foolish dream? Absolutely not. The dream of Mars isn't about planting a flag and coming home. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible. These monumental challenges are the very things that drive innovation. The quest for radiation shielding could lead to breakthroughs in medical technology here on Earth, revolutionizing cancer treatment. Solving the life support puzzle could teach us how to live more sustainably on our own planet. The engineering required to land on Mars will spawn technologies we can't even yet imagine. The truth is, we may never reach Mars in our current biological form. The first Martians might not be human as we know them. They may be posthumans, genetically engineered to resist radiation. Or they may not be biological at all, but advanced robotic avatars controlled by human minds safely back on Earth. The journey to Mars is teaching us a profound lesson, that space isn't just a place to go, but a force that will change what it means to be human. We are a species born on one world, looking to the stars. And while the path is more difficult than we ever thought, the quest itself is what makes us human. The dream is not dead, it's just evolving. If this journey into the hard realities of space exploration sparked your curiosity, make sure to hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into science and the universe. Thanks for watching.